Hello everyone, welcome to the new Cordz Live. For anyone in the chat, just let me know if audio levels are fine. I was wondering when the next one of these would be. Yeah, so I'm finally moved out into my new house. I've moved house twice within 12 months. So now things are finally starting to go back to normal. If you can call that normal. How is everyone? Oh, this is quite the birthday surprise. Well, happy birthday, Tavern Price. Is that how you say it? So the other day I made a community post asking for people's hot takes because I'm currently working on a new masterclass cinema for Kill Bill. And I was just like, you know what? Following the Blair Witch Project masterclass cinema is like, yeah, I'm literally making a film that... literally working on a video talking about a film that not just has lots of praise, but also has lots of not praise, you could say. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, it's the internet. Everyone's got a hot take. Even though I'm kind of praising a different element of Kill Bill 2, or Kill Bill 1 and 2. Sorry, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. I made a whole point in my video that Kill Bill is all one big movie and I just screwed up my own take on it. Daniel Harnett. Good, how are you? I'm good, how are you? So anyway, the other day I was like, so I felt like doing another live stream / podcast. I was like, you know what, let's get some fan engagement. So I made a community post and said, give me your hot takes. What's your hot takes? Because everyone's got a hot take. For a movie you love and everyone else hates, or a movie you hate and everyone else loves. You can say my entire channel is nothing but hot takes. But whatever, it's my YouTube channel. I'm allowed to talk about movies in a way as if they are worthless garbage. Even if that's just only my opinion. You hear about the unfriended drama. Huh? The drama... Who unfriended who? Literally just left the cinema. The Ten Rings movie was better than I thought it would be. Well, that's good. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Black Widow. I haven't seen Loki. I haven't seen the Captain America Falcon Soldier show. It's crazy how done I am with just like superhero movies in general. Like Endgame was my Endgame, and now I'm just like burnt out of all of it. That shitty movie, the copyright struck, your movie sucks, I believe. Is that because of Unfriended? What a movie to be taken down for. Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. I saw the Suicide Squad. I loved it. But unfortunately, it's a James Gunn film. Not a James Gunn working for Marvel film. If you've seen Super and Slither, then you'll know that the Suicide Squad is James Gunn Unchained. I think Guardians of the Galaxy got away with one cum joke, where the Suicide Squad gets away with so much more. And I loved it. But unfortunately, it's just too good for current nerd culture, so now it's instantly juvenile and overrated and whatever the hell else. kind of bombed because I think there's a lot of stigma of people not liking the first Suicide Squad, and they're like, well, I'm not going to see the sequel. And it's like, if you follow any of like sort of the behind the scenes, I guess. Not that I do. I just like to follow like what James Gunn's doing because he's a filmmaker I respect. But whatever. That could be my movie now. Hashtag hearts out for Polka Dot Man. If he's one, I can give you like a little rough breakdown of my review of the Suicide Squad later, because I don't plan on making a review. I think one of the downfalls of the channel that's making this channel die is I stopped talking about comic book movies. I stopped being trendy because I ran out of things to say. There's only so much I could ever say about Black Widow. So a lot of people are posting their hot takes now. So how about we read what's from the community section that I posted the other day, and then we can get to yours. Actually, if I could be a dirty dog for a second, if you just want a super chat, just $1 with your hot take, I'll read it, because I know that once we get started, it's just going to flood with hot takes, and I won't be able to read them unless we want to go for 4 hours. But unfortunately, I can't go for 4 hours because I'm currently editing a whole bunch of projects at once at the moment. So I didn't get many hot takes the other day, but let's just start off with the first one, because the first one's ironic because it's related to another video that I'm currently about to start writing the script for. So yeah, we'll start reading these, and I'll try to comb through chat. Maybe you don't have to super chat. We'll see. So the first hot take is from... Oh god, I don't even want to say that name. Yadid Chowdhury. Oh, see? That's the other thing about today, is like, you gotta try your best not to seem racist, but sometimes when you're YouTube and you have to read a name that you know you're never going to pronounce properly. You just don't want it to come across as that. Anyway, some of these are pretty simple as well. Hot take: Mortal Kombat, the first video game movie, done quite well. Don't get why people deride the film. So if I give a bit of a spoilers for this up and coming video I want to make, I 100% agree. And this Mortal Kombat video is kind of a review of the new one, but it's going to have to like talk about a whole bunch of stuff. My overall review of the new Mortal Kombat is I like some things in it. It does a lot right, but unfortunately it's not good enough to replace the 90s movie, the first one. Because my god, the first one sucks in terms of its actual violence. Like, you built it on... video game built on violence, and then you just get to this PG-13 bloodless, toothless movie. But it gets the cheesiness right. It gets, like, the costumes right for the time, even though, you know, we can have much more mature costumes now. Specifically the ninjas, where I think, like, Liu Kang always looked fine. Raiden looked fine. Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage didn't really have anything that was really standout-ish. But nah, dude, like the soundtrack of the first one's still sick. Even that theme song is still sick, to the point where they kind of had to make a lackluster reversion of it for the new one, where it's like orchestral. But yeah, that 90s Mortal Kombat movie, unfortunately, the new one was not good enough to replace it, so we still need it. And here's I guess there's another one, although I might have seen this movie as a child, but I don't even not know what it even is about anymore. Mighty Joe Young, an alternate version of King Kong where the giant ape and a blonde babe are best friends and connect over witnessing both of their mothers brutally murdered by poachers right before their very eyes. Well, that sounds sad. But I do not remember it. I actually enjoyed The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I never saw it. It just looked like a massive mess to me, and I heard nothing good. But then again, I didn't like that first Amazing Spider-Man. I was just like, it's just too soon to be rebooting this, and it wasn't. I was still in Sam Raimi head mode, which turns out everyone kind of still is now. Now here's one I didn't fully read, but I saw the beginning of it, and I already knew I was going to agree with it. Hot take here: Deep Blue Sea. Oh, from Jeremiah Peters. Hot take here: Deep Blue Sea is the best shark movie. Jaws 1 is so close to beating it, but I think the setting, the actors, the realistic look of the sharks, and the speech Samuel Jackson gives, only to be ate halfway through it, puts it at the top for me. I can't say that it's the best shark movie of all time when there is Jaws 1, but man, epic second. Although 100% agree with the more realistic looking sharks. If you watch the making of Deep Blue Sea, it's kind of crazy how, like, yeah, we think back of that movie as like silly now, but the technology of the animatronic sharks was like mind blowing. The CGI is dated as shit, but then again, the CGI was still like early days at that point. But yeah, the animatronic sharks weren't hooked up to cranes or wires. They were actually hooked up to a computer, and they could swim on their own, like via remote controls and stuff. Like, they're actual sharks, and they actually look really good. It just boggles my mind that all these shitty shark movies are coming out like non-stop now, and it's all just garbage CGI. So I guess here's a big one, but it's about an entire TV show I have not seen. But it's about the what was it? The Haunting of Bly Manor. I could read this, but I can't give any perspective on it just because I have not seen the show. But if any of you want to hear me read this one, and you can comment your hot takes or reactions to it, just let me know in the comments. And because that's basically the end of what came from my community post the other day. So I'm going to start scrolling up. And if you want to hear me read the Haunting of Bly Manor hot take, I will. But I'm just going to start reading some of yours that I can see. Hot take. Everywhere I read that's critiquing The Social Network, they praise it, and I fucking hated it despite it being a Fincher movie. So when I watched it the first time, well, I've only seen it once, I was like, you know, it's fine, but like, it never stuck with me. Fincher's a weird one with me. Although some of his films I probably saw at it too early in my life to fully like take in. But like, yeah, there's some I like, some that don't really hit home for me. But I can see that. Here's a hot take. The movie It Follows is grossly overrated. I fell asleep twice while watching it. Hey man, It Follows is sick. You just didn't get it because you're too busy napping. That's the thing. I love It Follows because... Sound weird like that. Some movies, if it's just absolute cinema porn, then it like if I could just sit back in my seat and just enjoy the atmosphere, like sometimes it gives me like rose tinted glasses for shit. Like It Follows is kind of like the drive of horror movies, where it's just synth score and amazing visuals where you can just like probably rip a certain substance and just sit back and be like, oh yeah, that looks so good. Cinema. But like, you know, for some reason, as the years go on, I find it's one of those movies I recommend less and less. It's a movie for me. Do you think the trend of remake sequels and prequels will keep going the next 10 years? Love your show. Is there a remake you'd like to see? Of course there's going to be fucking remakes and sequels and prequels, and there's going to be soft reboots is kind of what it's all become now. Hey, you can make a sequel that basically is the first story again for a new audience to watch, but there's enough elements from the previous one to call it a sequel. Everyone wins, and then the movie just it's just bland because of it, because it's not strong enough like the original, because the original was probably groundbreaking and was trying all these new things. What's the sequel aspect is just for the point and clap generation. We're like, oh my god, they said the thing I liked from the other one, or there's the character I liked from the previous one. But what it does in terms of new is just overbloat, like the CGI and the script writing's usually stupid. It's always a script of how much you can cram into it. 50 sequels worth into one movie just in case you don't get to make a sequel. They flagged his channel for self-harm in the movie. Oh, you're talking about Unfriended. Is that because it might come across as it's actually real? Because it's all screen capture from a laptop? I actually thought the third Conjuring was decent, like 6 out of 10. I don't know whether or not it's because my expectation for horror movies has become so low. Well, it's probably that. And like I had to put in the intro of my review, it's like, I thought the movie was absolutely worthless, but Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson's and Lorraine Warren characters are like slipping into nice comfy shoes where you're like, it still fits. It's kind of like The Force Awakens would absolutely suck if Harrison Ford wasn't in it to be actual classic Han Solo. Because Princess Leia didn't do anything in those sequel movies. Luke was the big, so off-putting, had an off-putting start into yeah, if it wasn't for Han Solo being his classic, I don't give a fuck, character from the originals in the new one, then Force Awakens, that would have been dead on entry. We needed that Chewie, we're home, and then spends the whole film not wanting anything to do with all this nerd shit, which is why we love Harrison Ford. Are you making a video about James Wan's Malignant? We'll see. I still need to see it. I'm kind of interested, even though it just reminds me of classic James Wan before he became Conjuring and Aquaman Man. It just reminds me of the monster in Malignant. Just reminds me of, he's we're Jigsaw. He's this old man with cancer that wants to punish people who take their lives for granted, but he also wears a cloak. He wears this black hoodie thing with red on the inside because it's nice and stylish. He has a soul patch and he has a blade that pops out of his wrist. Talk about Shang-Chi. I haven't seen it. I'm probably not gonna. So I know comments are flooding in, but I'm so far back. Super chat. Opinion. Tom Yum Goong fight versus DD Hallway fight. I don't know what the first one is. Let me just Google that. Oh, for a film I haven't seen. So I'll pick the Daredevil fight. Where were we? God, you guys have been talking. I've been so far behind. Once I catch up, I'll give you my hot take. Because I was just maybe I should say my own hot takes for films. And I was looking at my Blu-ray collection going, I can't think of any. But then I thought of one that I know is probably worthy of adding. Have you heard about the Transformers Rise of Unicron fan film? No? Is it an animation? Have you heard of Transformers Rise of the Beasts? I am very interested in that one because it's a direct continuation of Bumblebee. So with the new continuity, we'll see. A new director, we'll see. Your videos are amazing. Thanks to you, I'm addicted to Tubi. Hello from Brazil. Anyone I can pass on to Tubi makes me happy, so I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's like Russian roulette every time you try to watch something on there. New Snake Eyes was unbelievably amateur. I can't believe that's a movie that exists. They like made that in secret and then they released it and everyone's just like, but do we want this though? I know negative reviews get more views, but I love listening to people gushing over stuff they love. Yeah, get ready for my Kill Bill video. Deep Blue Sea is a fun movie, but Jaws is a straight up masterpiece that still has yet to be surpassed as far as shark films go. Man, it's like Jaws doesn't just win the best shark movie just because of like how it portrays the shark. It's literally the story around the shark. Like the shark looks terrible by today's standards, but like it's just an honor to sit through. Even the first half before they even get on the boat, it's great. Just being in this like small community town where this like sheriff who's over his head with a shark problem. He's trying to wrangle all these shark fishermen. He doesn't even know what the hell to do. He's got all these... Everyone's bloodthirsty. We need to kill the shark. And here comes Hooper. It's just like, wait a minute. Sharks are actually not that bad. Amityville Shark is the best movie. Dude, unless I need to change my VPN, there is no Transformers content on the Australian Tubi. It sucks. I've been in a knack to rewatch Transformers animated, but it's not on there. Honestly, I think The Suicide Squad is the best shark movie. Oh, man. Yeah, King Shark out-Grooted Groot. I prefer King Shark way more. Hot take, The Nightmare Before Christmas is very overrated. Is it that Tim Burton cartoon? I haven't seen it. Here's a hot take, Star Wars The Last Jedi is a masterpiece. Oh. Sure it is. What was the first Transformers cartoon you ever watched as a kid? It was Transformers Robots in Disguise. Not in terms... That doesn't mean I like watched it every single episode and got the full story. Kind of caught it here and there, but that Optimus is still like what I think of Optimus. It's like he's a fire truck. Then I got into Beast Wars. And Beast Wars is fucking sick. God, there is so much variety in this comment section that I'm trying to like get through. Nearly there. Yeah, Robots in Disguise from 2001. For me, I found Hereditary super boring too. Not too sure what all the hype was about. Man, it's just like fucking Hereditary is so good, but it's not a movie that should have had hype. That's the thing that's like killed it on entry, because everyone's like, man, you want to see a fucking horror movie, you need to watch Hereditary. It's like it's not a superhero film. You don't recommend it like it's an action movie. Dude, the car chase in Hereditary is fucking sick. Because there is no car chase. Well, unless you say Peter is chasing himself to get home to stop what's her name from suffocating on nuts. What are your thoughts on Marvel's What If Episode 4? I haven't seen... Let's see, that's another show I still haven't watched and probably won't watch. So, I don't know. What if Cordz watches it? The last movie I think that horrified me was this stupid art house movie called The Samurai on Amazon Prime. But now I think I'm just angry at it. No. Maybe I'm too young. 23. But every time I watch some legendary horror movie that I'm very underwhelmed. Thinking Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Shining. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's like growing up on McDonald's and someone's like, dude, you need to have this fucking salad. It's so good. And you're like, oh, but it's, it ain't got the sugar and MSG that the other one had. Which sucks, man. Like, I know it's... Like, I know what it's like to watch an old classic I should like and then just being like, what is people seeing it? But as someone who's now pushing 30, it's kind of just sad seeing classics like that, those being classed as, like, overrated. It's like, I hate the fact that people can look down on the first Nightmare on Elm Street just... Not just because of, like, the dumb sequels that followed, it's just, plus time. And everyone grows up with Saw and they're like, Nightmare on Elm Street's stupid. I don't know. It sucks because everything now is just too fast and stupid. Fast and Furious. Why am I not reading my comments out loud? I'm kind of skipping through them. I need to see Candyman. I honestly have high hopes for my boy. How would you bring back the X-Men into the MCU? I don't know. Have them show up on a spaceship going, it's me, the X-Men's, we're here. Have you seen Green Knight? No, I have not seen Green Knight. Hey, you being a District 9 fan, have you seen the Neil Blomkamp Demonic film? I thought people were exaggerating about how bad it was, but it is truly quite bad. I'm thinking the lockdown is to blame. Yeah, dude, I thought the first teaser looked great, and then the first trailer looked good, but like, yeah, just a film that unanimously came out, and everyone's just like, this movie's boring and sucks. Which part of me wants to watch it just to find out how. And I kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of put off from watching it now. But that being said, it probably is the lockdown is to blame, because that's the thing. All these blockbusters were meant to come out before the lockdown hit, and now they're like, oh shit, maybe we should wait it out so we can release it in cinemas once this is wrapped up. But it hasn't been wrapped up. Well, it's kind of has, but now they're trying to do this 50-50 thing. 50-50 cinema, 50-50 streaming, same day. But that being said, all these new films that come out, but people are like, all right, we're in a lockdown, we can't have a full blockbuster crew, so like, what can we work? How simple can we make this project? And that has to obviously reflect in the script. Everyone should go see a movie called The Night House, a film made in lockdown that's super simple. It's just Rebecca Hall's like the lead, and it probably has 3 supporting characters. Great little isolated, creepy ghost horror film. Highly recommend. Because that being said, he's now working on District 10, and District 10, of course, is not going to be a tiny little film that will have to have the budget, and I think he's working on it with a bunch of screenwriters. So yeah, because this is the thing. District 9's great, but then Elysium came out and it was lukewarm. Most of the planet hated Chappie, and so now thank God Demonic is this boring bomb, because then that just backs up everyone that ever hated a Neil Blomkamp film. Be like, see, imagine if you had Alien, you would have fucking made that boring too. Second super chat. Dalek sex? Why are all the Dark Souls tubers Aussie or Kiwi? What's a Dark Souls tuber? Am I one? Alright, we're nearly caught up now. Hot take, Jurassic Park 3 is better than Jurassic Park The Lost World, marginally. Alright, I was like, I thought you were about to say it's better than Jurassic Park, and I was like, wait a minute. But dude, I 100% agree. The Lost World just has this weird kind of blandness to it. It's kind of forgettable. But Jurassic Park 3 is... Well, it's basically the first one again, which is dumber. Jurassic Park 3, I will say, is a guilty pleasure. Although there's one part of the movie that fucking infuriates me, is when the kid's just like, oh, I got T-Rex pissed, and he's like, how'd you get it? He's like, don't ask, or whatever. It's like, how did you get it? Did you stand under a T-Rex that's pissing all over you, and then it didn't spot you? Do you like to play video games? I do, but I'm not a gamer. I like game when I play video games just to switch my brain off. Like I like playing the Spyro Reignited trilogy every once in a while, just to like zone out and run around and collect some shit. Going back to the Jaws movie compared to Deep Blue Sea, what gives me PTSD in Jaws was its eyes. They were like big black empty voids. It's like it had the ability to digest you from history. Even though I'm an adult, I still collect Transformers. Yeah, welcome to the club. Did you watch Deathgasm yet? Are you the one that commented that all those months ago? So let me find the... So I have this app on my computer. It's like sticky notes. And I was like going through them. And I had written... Yeah, I still have the list, although it was buried. I have a list that says, watch Triangle, watch Deathgasm, watch Pandorum, watch Endless. Then under I wrote H.P. Lovecraft, Fear of the Unknown. Oh, because I think it was a documentary I wanted to watch. No, I haven't seen it. I'm sorry. What were we up to? Any thoughts on Fear Street? Haven't seen them. Do you prefer anime subs or anime dubs? That's an interesting question. As me and my housemate just binge watched all of Digimon Adventure 2. I still got rose tinted goggles for it from my childhood. But my god, is the whitewash dialogue so bad. I don't know. I haven't really watched an anime that had I've never watched an anime with just subtitles. I don't think I've ever have. Even like Evangelion, I watch with the dub. Best movie of the year is going to be Scott Cooper's Antlers. Man, that was a that was a movie that was meant to come out pre-pandemic, and it's just been shelved for 3 years. I'm also excited for Antlers. Snyder Cut thoughts. Oh my god, does everyone want a hot take? Even though that movie came out and it didn't like wake people up of like, oh my god, turns out that movie's a masterpiece and changed the world. You want to know my my hot take on the Snyder Cut? Also, I just want to say, I watched it and then me and my housemate recorded a whole discussion about it afterwards, and I just never bothered putting it on my computer to even literally edit, because I was like, the whole thing is just dead air of like trying to remember parts of it. And it's just like, yeah. I have two things to say about the Snyder Cut. It needed a worse version to look good. And I never thought that I would be sympathetic towards studio tampering. It's just it's one of those movies like Joker where all the reaction I heard on the internet was that it's just the same cookie cutter sentence. With the Joker, it's like, I like the Joker because I like what it did with mental health and society. Mental health and society. Those two words. Mental health and society. Mental health and society is like, I'm not hearing any other review or anything else in talking about that movie. Snyder Cut was the same, where everyone I'd ever seen talk about it, the types of people that just watch any superhero thing that comes out and doesn't really get any kind of difference, they'll just watch anything. They're all just like, the same opinion for the Snyder Cut was, you know, it was good to have to see a filmmaker finally put their like vision out there. You know, a filmmaker finally got to have their vision restored. The filmmaker and their vision. It's like literally the only thing that I heard about it. Yeah, I thought it's just so ironic. They're like, yeah, it's 4 hours long because it's his full vision. And I'm sitting there like a studio executive going, and cut, and cut, and cut. The part where Aquaman goes to dive in the water and then they start singing this song and Bruce Wayne's just staring at him at the water. It's like, all right, let's cut to the next thing. You can have the song like crossfade over and becomes a transition, but like it's like a music video of them just singing this song, and you're like, and cut, and cut. Like this is going on for too long. So it's just ironic how it's the Snyder cut, where it just felt like an assembly cut. Assembly cuts when you just like kind of slap everything in sequence onto your timeline, and then you haven't begun the process yet of cutting out fat and fine tuning. It just felt like it was an assembly cut that they just threw. What was it? 70 million at however much it cost to finish. That's my review of the Snyder Cut. What up, Cordz Effects? Piefoot, what up back, bro? What am I even up to? In my opinion, Ridley Scott's Alien franchise should have ended with Aliens. I also agree. I think he means Dark Souls, the game, and a majority of YouTubers of that content are Aussies and Kiwis. I think his question is, why is that a thing? I have no idea, because I've never played Dark Souls. Adventure 1 is still solid. Adventure 2 is 50-50. Adventure 2 is weird. Where Digimon Adventure 2 goes is like... starts off... so instead of just being trapped in the digital world, they can kind of go whenever they want at high school. And then it becomes this big global event. And then it becomes Avengers Endgame at the end. That was my Avengers Endgame. If anyone who's seen like the last 2 episodes of Digimon Adventure 2, I think you'd know what I mean. What are your thoughts on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre new film being sold to Netflix? I have a prejudgment on that film, and when I watch it on Netflix, it's probably just going to back up what I thought. They got to stop making Leatherface movies. That shit's done. And they've never like... It's like the first movie is such a classic for what it is. It is such a raw and gross and visceral horror film. And then for some reason, the second one onwards... Well, maybe not so much the second one, because Tobe Hooper was still making it about the family. Let's say the third one onwards, it's all like, Leatherface is he's the badass, and he's the face of the franchise. So we got to like overhype his importance. Then every film that followed was just too much importance on Leatherface. He's just a big idiot, and the family, he's the muscle for the family. That's the horror. It's called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre because chainsaws are it's a scary object. Cordz Effects, have you seen Dead End? The CGI was so bad, it was quite nuts beside that. No, I haven't. Right, a lot of opinions of it go along the lines of it's better than the Whedon version. Well, that's the other thing. But here comes me saying it. Even though I say the Snyder Cut needed a worse version to look good, I still have to say the Whedon Cut's better just because it gets to the fucking point. Let James Gunn reboots Justice League. You'll get a better film. Probably. He made you care about Polka Dot Man. Oh, Stephen Perry, $20. Just wanted to say thanks for all the great content. When will we see another commentary track? Commentary tracks are kind of dead. They were fun to do, and they were something I was trying to like keep on top of for when I was busy editing videos. I was like, all right, let's just do commentary tracks just to like in between. Then they kind of I think that kind of begun the death of the channel with the YouTube algorithm, and then it for some reason they just offended people because like, just make regular fucking content. I'm not sitting through a 3-hour fucking video. I was like, well, you don't have to. You also don't have to unsubscribe because a commentary track came out. So they're kind of dead at the moment. I've been doing watch parties on Patreon for the $30 tiers. I'm thinking about bumping that down to $10, but I haven't done one in a while because life has been so fucking crazy recently. Having to move house and everything. Juggling too many projects at once. Oh, and yeah, thank you for the $20. Thoughts on the live-action Cowboy Bebop and One Piece? I don't know. Every single adaptation of anime. Like, you name the one that was an actual success in terms of the box office and its audience. The good thing about Disney Plus is I get to watch the 90s X-Men animated series. The worst thing about Disney Plus is you get to watch The Simpsons like zoomed in, where they're like, oh, idiots will argue about the 2 black bars on the side because it's 4:3. Let's just zoom in and crop out jokes. Do you remember the episode? Do you remember the Arthur episode where Arthur punched TW? No. Digimon is scarier than the Nun. It actually is. There's some dark shit in Digimon that's just like only Japanese children would grow up with shit this like this serious. Who would win in a fight, Leatherface or Michael Myers? Michael Myers, because Michael Myers doesn't feel pain. Where Leatherface sliced a bit of his leg up with a chainsaw and had a whinge. Have you seen Dog Soldiers? If you have, what are your thoughts? It's one of my favorite horror films, and it's free on YouTube if you haven't seen it. I saw it in my younger years. I remember liking it at the time. It's just a bit foggy in my memory, but like I'm wanting to get it on Blu-ray. Unfortunately, there's no Region B. But we'll see. Any opinions on the Australian movie industry? Yeah, it needs one. Thoughts on live-action Rick and Morty? Are you talking about the new promos? Or if they actually make one? I think Zack Snyder said he'd make a Rick and Morty live-action movie. It's like, oh, you? Oh, I can't wait to see Rick boring. Every Decepticon in Michael Bay's Transformers look like Predators. Are you a fan of Dead Alive? Yes. AKA Brain Dead. I fell in love with that movie when I watched it 2 years ago. Fright Night are the best boys. I haven't seen either, but I have Fright Night on Blu-ray that I got in this massive marketplace deal on Facebook that I've meant to get around to watching. Yep, logo's different. It started as Ridley Scott, then it turned into James Cameron, but I think those kept confusing people. Like, you know, you get new haters, where if you trash like The Conjuring 3, then people be like, his thumbnail's James Cameron. Oh, I'm going to make fun of James Cameron. That will surely show him. They're like, James Cameron hasn't made a fucking good movie since the 80s. Take that. I'm like, The only reason James Cameron was my logo is because he was making a funny face. But nah, trash his career. Fucking makes Avatar and it's the highest grossing film for 10 years. Say what you will about Avatar, but like, you know, James Cameron made an original film that was full of cliches, made the most money on the fucking planet. Dog Soldiers is a fucking mess on Blu-ray. Yes, I'm going to wait for a better release. Hopefully through Umbrella from Australia. Alright, I'm all caught up now. Which actor do you think is the best Dracula? Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, or Gary Oldman? I haven't seen any Draculas with Bela Lugosi in it. Leslie Nielsen. If you could make a movie where the main character is based on Michael Bay, what would it be about? You fucking kidding me? There's a whole franchise there called Fast and the Furious. He plays the car. The funniest part in Avatar is when the woman in the helicopter pulls out a fake Ripley line. Would you rather watch your favorite movie one last time or never see any more sequels to any more movies from now on? No more sequels. Because, yeah. I'll kill myself the day I have to watch RoboCop 3 last time. Any thoughts for a Jangles 2 or any upcoming projects like that? By the way, your video were very inspiring to me as a filmmaker. Jangles 2. We have fucking ideas for Jangles 2, 3, 4, 5 TV show, spin-off, cartoon, video game, all while making the first one. Are you going to make a masterclass on the original Terminator? Maybe one day. I really got burnt out making Terminator videos at the start of the year, so I'm kind of like... I was kind of stuck doing the Ouija rip-off universe while moving house. So like that was all that was coming out of the channel at that time. But now... I'm just trying to like make different types of variety to keep myself interested. Hello, Madcap. Have you watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars? No, I haven't. I still haven't even seen The Rise of the Skywalker. Saw the trailer for that and I was like, no. Shit, my last comment was vague, but what do you reckon The Matrix 4 will be like? I don't know. I like the first one. But it was never like... I never became obsessed with it. And I think I've seen the second one once. I was never that really big into The Matrix. I haven't seen Alligator. I haven't seen Razorback, but I have Razorback. So I'm trying to build out my Australian cinema collection, which is massive now thanks to the great people at Umbrella Entertainment. Lots of people make fun of Terminator 1's fake Arnie head, but I still like it. Oh, why? Because it's like it's a robot with fake skin wrapped around it? God. That's the other thing. It's like, what do you want? What do you want? It's actually more believable than Arnold Schwarzenegger playing the Terminator. Because it is a robot underneath fake skin. Yeah, Terminator 1's great. Even the stop motion Terminator walking around at the end has a better fluidity to it than CGI Terminators, because it has, or not fluidity, it's more like that stop motion jankiness makes it still look like a robot. Warner Brothers is the main problem with the DC movies. Yeah, probably. They're the ones that hire people. When you like, you kind of saw how Warner Brothers let Christopher Nolan just take the wheel. They're like, they put their feet on the dashboard. They're like, Nolan's got this. We'll be fine. Every film he makes $1 billion, so who cares? Zack Snyder, how can it go wrong? And this is like, no shit, people, what the fuck's going on? And then like out of that, we got that first Wonder Woman that did well, and Aquaman was their first smash hit with $1 million. Shazam was fun. You ran into Funwebs? No. Thankfully not. They're a Sydney-based nightmare. Would you rather shoot a film but have to let someone else who doesn't have your vision edit it, or shoot a film but the soundtrack is nothing but your least favorite songs ever? Probably the songs. Because they'll probably pick things that the youth like. They'll be like, okay, well, I don't get it. At least it's the film can reach a wider audience. Why do you think Anakin said, I hate you to Obi-Wan Kenobi? Because he was an angsty teen. He's cranky at his dad because his dad said he had to do the dishes. That and George Lucas lost his fucking mind. How do we show that Anakin's really angry at Obi-Wan? I hate you. Yeah, so that's a good sentence. I'll have Anakin say that to him. Yo, Cordz, you are right though. T1 and 2 are dope, and I also hate the CGI ones. Yeah, dude. Fucking like Terminator Genesis. Like right at the start, the T800 skin burns off, and there's just this shitty cartoon walking around. It was okay in Terminator Salvation, but like, I don't know. They should get, if they do motion capture, they should still get the person with the motion capture suit to like pretend to be robotic. Because that's how I always kind of thought that the only reason Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't walk around like RoboCop as the Terminator is because the skeleton itself, when it's exposed, it moves jerky, like, you know, with its hydraulics and pistons and stuff. But when it's all wrapped in that layer of muscle and skin, that reduces how much it's like jerky. But then but once CGI took over, then they were just like, nah, it's gonna move very fluid like a human. I was like, yeah, but it makes the CGI model look shit. Love from England. Have you seen This Is England? That's a movie and series that I love. Would you rather watch movies on your phone from now on, or only watch movies 3 years after its release? What are these questions? 3 years after they release. Hey man, I just saw Chopper at the cinema. I'll if it's at the cinema and it's something that's older, I'm more than happy to replace that with phones. Even T3's opening segment in the future is a letdown. Yeah, once they started getting rid of the tanks, the hunter-killer tanks, you knew it was over. Like, nah, because the jets are sick, we're just going to bring the jets back. Like, man, those fucking hunter-killer tanks are still pretty dope. Your Salvation video made me want to give it a try. Another try. Well, that's good. I reckon they should release the the actual director's cut of that movie. I reckon that could be interesting. The Star Wars prequels had a plan where the Star Wars sequels did not. That's true. Would you rather shoot a film with an old 2012 Android phone, or shoot a film with a professional camera but it only records 30 seconds at a time? Phone. I did actually like Salvation more than T3 and that shit last one. Yeah. Like T3 sucks, but it's just like Jurassic Park 3, where it's enough like the previous good one. But like, yeah, Salvation actually tries. The first YouTube video I have watched on your channel was the Bumblebee movie review. That explains your name. More Transformers videos on the way. Months and months ago, I started writing a video on Transformers visual effects, like the Bayformers versus the Bumblebee redesigns, and I started writing this massive script, and then it was on a laptop that broke, and I thought I'd lost it, but it turns out I had a backup on my desktop. So once I'm done with this Kill Bill video, this new Mortal Kombat review, maybe Evil Dead Theory Part 2, I was going to finish writing that and then get back to it. Have you watched Invincible on Amazon Prime Video? No, I haven't. like I kept saying this whole stream, I'm just over like superhero stuff. The only reason I watched The Suicide Squad because I like James Gunn movies. Had nothing to do with any character that was in it. Although he then surprised me with all these new random characters that he put in it. It's like, that's my fucking, this whole Zack Snyder problem. It's like sure, it's his vision, but all he's done is just take two of the most overused characters and put this like bland spin on them, where it's kind of like, it's kind of dark and gritty set in the real world, but then again, it's kind of very basic of what it is. So it's not like Batman and Superman, like you've never seen them before, cuts to something like Logan, where it just changes everything because it's too much like what they should be, but then it's not fully what they should be, and there's this thing that still sticks in the back of your mind that you don't quite like. But then, and then the first Suicide Squad movie, and then the other problem is like, yeah, we're gonna have Batman. He's already 20 years into being Batman, which means he's already been through all of his villains. Then you get to the first Suicide Squad movie, and it's like, so he's already, all their arcs are completely done. That's all wrapped up now. So he's already met Deadshot. Harley Quinn's already transformed. It's all in the past now. Now it's just, what's now? What's next? That first Suicide Squad movie is like, you just don't feel anything because you'd rather watch them fight Batman. Then along comes James Gunn's Suicide Squad. He's like, man, I'm going to fill this up with characters you've never heard of, especially from in terms of like me. Like if you showed me Polka Dot Man before that movie, you'd be like, oh, DC's so stupid. Like comic books from like the 70s, the 60s, 70s, and 80s are so dumb when they like ran out of ideas and then started shoving in like just whatever they could come up with. And along comes James Gunn's like, no, you're going to feel so bad for Polka Dot Man. Like just who the character is. Really wanted to try the Cybertron trilogy games. Can't find them. Trilogy? Are you talking about the PlayStation 3 games? There is only 2. Yeah, we'd probably have to go to eBay and buy an old PS3 and the games. I still have Fall of Cybertron. No, I like it. Ending Battle of Logan was such a letdown. Bunch of uninteresting dudes with guns in a dreary forest, and cloned Wolverine barely does shit. I mean, like, sucks to be you. I thought that ending was amazing. I thought that clone Wolverine was so fucking terrifying. Especially the reveal where it's just him and old Logan and like have that like staring at each other as the camera's swelling around them and just like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? Evil Wolverine, fuck. Bunch of uninteresting dudes. That was basically what Stryker's Force was in X-Men 2. Wolverine slicing up all these soldiers you don't care about. You're the only one that approves of Clone Wolverine? What did I just do? Logan is top 5 of Marvel movies. See, on my Blu-ray collection, I have all the X-Men movies clumped together, including The Wolverine and X-Men Origins Wolverine. But Logan, I just leave out in the alphabet of my action section because I kind of it's just a movie to me. I don't even count it as a Marvel movie. I don't count it as a comic book movie. It's just a movie. Do you think Transformers War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron take place before G1 or before Transformers Prime? I don't know. I just thought it was just a prequel with its nerd bait nods to just everything. Logan gets very sad after the first clone Wolverine fight, especially when Logan gets help from this kind doctor, which he refuses. Yeah, and he has that... One of the things I love about that movie is fucking Hugh Jackman at the top of his lungs screaming, "Shut the fuck up," to a little child. I'm not saying that's a funny scene, but it's just like, I just find it funny that this movie made for children, like, you just get to see that. The Fox X-Men timeline is fucked up. Well, yeah, because it got to be there in the birth of these comic book movie franchises, and somehow it was able to keep its relevancy all throughout the MCU starting. But I guess they kind of just killed it with Phoenix and bloody fucking bloody, what was the other one? What am I even thinking? Oh, the Disney deal. Sorry, when they bought Fox, that's when it all ended. Logan or the Dark Knight? Well, it has to be the Dark Knight. Still love the Dark Knight. It's so funny how now the Dark Knight is technically overrated, despite when it came out and it was like everyone on the fucking planet loved it. That's what happens. You plus some time. You have some kids that were too young before it came out, and then they grew up with Batman vs Superman, and then they go back and watch it, like, fucking nothing happens in it. Doesn't even look like the comic books. Logan and Days of Future Past are the best X-Men movies, as well as X2. I completely agree. I think Days of Future Past may be the best X-Men movie. It's the popular opinion to say X-Men 2 was. But yeah, I think Days of Future Past has now passed it in terms of being Days of Future Past X-Men 2. Apocalypse is, the first half is really interesting, but then it becomes a dumb comic book movie for the second half. Do you think Hugh Jackman will be back as Wolverine in the MCU? I don't give a fuck if it's the MCU. But like, my God, do I want Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 3 as Wolverine? Like, that's just something I need before I die. Is Ryan Reynolds, they finally got Deadpool done. They finally course corrected that. But he doesn't get to have that moment with Wolverine, where Wolverine's been in the spotlight all that time leading up to Deadpool's movie, and then finally hangs up the claws. It's like, just do Deadpool 3. Just do Deadpool 3. They can recast Logan for the goddamn MCU. I don't give a shit. How much did you tune in on Please Rewind's stream of Space Jam 2? I think I kept zoning in and out. Or not zoning, but like I was doing stuff, so I was kind of like listening to it here and there. But you know, I can't even remember it now. I am afraid Disney's going to butcher Wolverine because he is a super violent character in the comics. Well, it's all riding on Deadpool 3 if they let that be unchained as it was. Fox is having production issues with the last two X-Men films because Disney even bought. Yeah, and I never even saw Dark Phoenix. Would you say that Deadpool 2 is kind of bad? I really liked Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. I think Deadpool 2 is just as good as Deadpool 1. I think upon first viewing, it was kind of like, it didn't quite have the surprise of Deadpool 1, but I've watched it like 50 times now, and it's just as brilliant to me as the first one. Even Apocalypse sucks in the first half. They basically reset Magneto's arc to have a family arc, only to lose them to go heal. Well, that's not the part I was referring to. I thought the actual Apocalypse, like waking up in the 80s and being like, what the fuck's going on? I thought that was like cool. But that being said, I've only seen like twice and I can't even remember it. I just remember enjoying the first half, and then once Professor X gets kidnapped, then it goes to like, How long have we been going for? 1 hour. The Batman thoughts. I don't. Well, that's literally how I feel. I think X2 movie where the X-Men actually have team chemistry and don't just solely focus on Logan. No, X-Men 2 is the only movie. Well, I mean, the whole movie's about Logan when you think about it. Cordz, will you be my new dad? No, I don't want any goddamn kids. I'm never having kids. Fuck off. Get a different dad. You don't want me as a parent. Trust me. Fucking little shits. Dark Phoenix was the Dark Fate of the X-Men movies. Yeah. X-Men Dark Fate. I wish they kept his fucking wife dead. Enough with the sex jokes. That was a Deadpool 2. Thoughts on Venom 2? Ugh. I don't know. I'm just disappointed. Like, I'll probably watch it when it's on Netflix. I'm just kind of just disappointed because Venom was such a favorite of mine as a child, and like, I don't know. I just never warmed to it being like Spider-Man's just not a part of the origin, and now they're just like, no, well, Eddie just gets the symbiote just cause, and they're just like this wacky team from the get-go where. I don't know, and then because like the CGI is fucking awful. I just hate how it constantly just has to be moving, like his eyes. Even that's the other problem is like, all right, so we can't have Spider-Man a part of the origin, so we can't have the big white spider on his chest and back. So we have to like kind of be like maybe it's kind of like veins that sort of look like, but not really. But like he still has lenses for eyes. It's like why do all symbiotes have a lens for its eye? Like that was always the leftover thing from the Spider-Man suit that it was imitating. And like, I don't know, if you watch the fight scene at the end of Venom where they're fighting on the rocket, the CGI and even the editing is fucking awful. It's just the super fast cutting. The camera is so crazy how it moves around. And the trailer for this new one, it's like it just all looks like the same but more of it. Like Carnage, I was like Venom and Carnage were always like my favorites growing up. There's that part in the trailer for the new one where Carnage forms and then you hear Venom go, "Oh shit, that's a red one," and then hides. It's like, what does that mean? A red one? A symbiote's defined by colors now. That's where people, fucking nerds, will be like, actually in the comic books, the colors specifically mean this and that. Venom was black because Spider-Man's suit was black, but whatever. But whatever. Oh, God. Hey, man, the Predators look fucking different because of different clans. I'm like, oh, where's the Predator clan where they don't have fucking lips? It's just an exposed jaw. In the comic books, this and that. Fuck the comic books. The movies are different. You should never, ever, ever go into a movie and have, like, the pre-knowledge of the comic book to make you enjoy the movie better. That's what I love about Batman vs. Superman, the Snyder stuff. Like, actually, if you'd read the fucking Superman comic books, you'd know exactly that this is how Superman is, duh. And it's like, well, if I hate the movie, is that just a statement on the comic books? Maybe the comic books are shit and boring. Cyclops getting cucked in every film. Thoughts on Michael Keaton's Batman? The original Batman? He's good. A lot of Apocalypse echoes so much of Age of Ultron. Well, That's the thing now, is the movie just teases the most dangerous villain of all time, and then you watch it, and it's kind of like there is nothing different about this villain than the previous one. It's like, but it was in the comic books, so you have to do it. Ultron was a big problem in the comic books, so we got to do it in the movies. Apocalypse was a big problem in the comic books, so we have to do it. But it has to be exclusively like a one movie villain. I think that's why, like Thanos, they had all this build up, where Ultron should have changed the MCU forever. But it was just another villain of the week. What do you think about Rotten Tomatoes removing the feature to click "I'll watch this" button because of Captain Marvel and the random attack against a leader? I have no idea what any of that meant. So I have no thoughts. Is the kangaroo court scene in Transformers 86 a piece of comedy brilliance? I need to watch that again. The last time I watched the 86 movie, I was just like, man, this whole thing's just a music video generator. Every single scene is a music video. Dawn of the Dead or Return of the Living Dead? I'm going to say Dawn of the Dead. I just watched the original Dawn of the Dead recently, and I fucking loved it. It's such... I just love how, like, movies like that from those times where you watch them and they're like... They're just... like, they have these just weird ideas in them, but then you watch things now and it's just... I don't know, it's like everything's just by the books now. It just feels... Return of the Living Dead, I think I watched one of them as a kid. Ah... Are you banned? I haven't banned anyone. I have no moderators. If you watch the Matrix trilogy again, the layers will unwrap itself. The movie, to me, was all about the Oracle program and how it revolutionizes anyone that gets into contact with it. Huh. Well, that's just neat. If you could direct a movie for a franchise, what would it be? Like a current franchise? I'll fucking direct a Digimon movie straight away, boy. You better fucking believe that. Give me that goddamn property. Show you why I think it's good. Shazam 2 thoughts. I'll see it. I had lots of fun with the first one. I have lots of respect for David F. Sandberg, despite not liking his Annabelle movie, but that's not even against him, as I just don't like the Annabelle gimmick. It's like it's a fucking doll, and it turns out there's a black goat demon that just puppets it, and the doll isn't even the thing that's the scary part. Masterclass cinema on the Thing. One day, I think I said in a comment, a reply to a comment, I kind of want to do a video on horror remakes that like are better than the original. Well, not so much better, but they were worthy to be a remake, and it'd be like a three movie video. And I'll do The Thing, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and The Fly. I just need to watch the originals first. I have the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I need the original The Fly, and The Thing from another world, or The Thing from Outer Space. If you were given the chance to remake any film, what would it be? I would remake Nightmare on Elm Street and show everyone why I think, or how I see that first movie. As well as update it for a new generation. There's a whole lot of fucking teen angst in this current world that Freddy could exploit. Best remake ever is Scarface. But I mean, like, I haven't even seen the original black and white one. But Scarface is just a fucking masterpiece. Like, regardless. What movie did you watch and wished for a sequel? Dredd. I watched Dredd and I wished for a fucking franchise. But, of course, Dredd was too good and we can't have good things. We can get 50,000 Marvel movies. We can bitch about alternate cuts of fucking DC movies. But what we can't get is a Dredd franchise. God damn it. I wanted an instant sequel where we see Dredd versus the Angel Gang. And then then you could build up to Judge Death. Liberate Cuba by watching Scarface cut a communist for a green card. Damn, now I want to watch it. Come on, Pelican. So we just got another hot take in my original community post. So let's read it, gang. How many's in the chat? Might wrap this up. I didn't actually want this to go super late. I felt Dredd 3D wasn't close to the source material. It had that annoying 2000s onward grittiness and none of the color. But, like, you know... like, what is the problem with that? Put it this way, I would rather watch Dredd and be like, man, it's got great RoboCop vibes, than to watch a boring fucking RoboCop remake. That's kind of how I saw it. But like, it was so believable though. It was such a great grounded universe they built for it. I love right before Dredd puts the bomb on the door, he has to like peel this sticky thing off first. I was like, oh, it's just an issued bomb that they got. It comes with like a sticky part that you peel it off and then... It's not just a magnet bomb because Batman. Even though that's a very dumb thing to praise, just... But whatever. I don't know. The Stallone one tried their hardest to look like the comic book and it kind of came off as silly. Where I love the universe of the new Dredd movie. Because it feels like it's a movie that you can just keep coming up with stories in. Like the Stallone one, it's like... What is the sequel? Do I want to go back to this cartoony looking world? No, I fucking love Dredd. Carl Urban was sick. Oh yeah, let's read another hot take, and it's on The Suicide Squad. Hot take, The Suicide Squad is very meh. Just a bunch of extreme violence and weird CGI. It sort of hides the boring part with random over-the-top deaths, strangely. I did enjoy it, but it's sort of weird. But see, that's not a hot take anymore, because that's what like most of the fucking internet said once it dropped. Where I'm like, if this movie had come out 5 years prior, it would be like... It'd literally just be as big as Guardians of the Galaxy. But now we're living in an oversaturated world. We're now living in everything's been done 50 times before world. What's your thoughts on the new Batman? I don't know. I've seen there's so many versions of Batman now. I don't exactly know how this one's going to be mind-blowing. How many times can you keep doing Batman? I guess just to wrap this up, maybe I should have gotten to my hot take because I kind of just forgot it. Let's end this on my hot take. The new Spider-Man trailer came out and everyone's nerdgasming over it. They're jizzing on everything with their nerd hype. Now I'm just going to say this. In my personal opinion, this whole multiverse bullshit is the bottom of the barrel in terms of nostalgia exploitation. It's the last line of defense to get nerds to go to the cinema. And I can't see past that opinion now. I watched the new Spider-Man trailer. The whole internet's like, when Doc Ock shows up, fuck! The Green Goblin bomb got me in the feels. Oh. Second, Alpha Milena shows up. The first thing that ran through my mind, despite knowing they're all going to be in it, because, you know, they can't even keep this shit secret anymore, is just like, yeah, Yeah, you can totally pay an actor from a previous movie, a continuity, and then to be in this new one, they'll do it. I don't get it. Like, I get it, but I don't fucking get it. This new Flash movie, like, we're getting Michael Keaton back as Batman. Ah. We're now putting older, better movies into this new one because we couldn't keep it running on its own feet. I've liked the new Spider-Man when he's in an Avengers movie, when he's in an ensemble. Spider-Man has been so done to death to me now that, you know, it's like, what else can you do? So when he's a part of a team with other superheroes, I've liked, but his own spin-off movies, I've kind of just been like I don't know, they're just like, I instantly forget everything that was in them. It's just Tom Holland going, oh, that's awesome, oh, that's awesome, oh, that's awesome, oh, what about that, that's awesome, awesome, awesome. Like, the CGI is kind of bland. Michael Keaton was pretty good, but like, everything else is just wishy-washy to me. And it just feels like this new one, they're like, alright, let's just shove in as much popular stuff from other Spider-Man movies into this, and that'll wake everyone up. That'll put asses in seats. But I just don't get it. Like, even that's, like, I love the Into the Spider-Verse movie, but that's because they just filled it. They just filled it with, like, all these Spider-Man variations that aren't the norm, that aren't the regular ones. But this new one, it's like, yeah, we're putting it, like, you prefer the Sam Raimi ones, right? Well, let's just put Sam Raimi's in it. Like, I just don't get it. I think it literally started when that previous Spider-Man movie ended, and it was J.K. Simmons is back as J. Jonah Jameson, and like, the whole internet's like, oh, when he came back, it was fucking so good because no one can replace J. Jonah Jameson but him. I was just like, but that feels so weird though. Like, why? Just because you can't cast better doesn't mean you have to. Ugh. Also, wasted opportunity of not getting Bruce Campbell to play the new J. Jonah Jameson. Wasted opportunity. Funny because us comic book nerds really dislike him being on a team in the comics. In the comics? I was talking about the movies. Movies have become so hell-bent on recapturing nostalgia that they're not going to have anything to be nostalgic for in the next decade. That's correct. 10 years from now, people look back on the Spider-Man... What's it called? Homeward Bound, and it's just gonna be like a sticker sheet of like, oh, that's the Jamie Foxx Electro, oh, that's the Alfred Molina Dr. Octopus, oh, that's this and that's that. I don't know, because I got the when I got the first Spider-Man movie on VHS, I like wore that shit out. I just rewatched it again and again and again and again. That was my Spider-Man. And I feel nothing for Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus saying hello Peter to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And that's the other thing. It's like, how's he still alive? Oh, maybe he didn't drown in the river. Yeah, I don't really give a fuck. That's my hot take, is like, this whole multiverse thing is just like, there's gonna be nothing after this now. That's gonna be the peak of comic book movies, literally like imploding on themselves. He wasn't talking to Tom. Why'd they show Tom? And you know what else? Based on that trailer, it just feels like they're not even going to be in the movie for that long, because they've digitally de-aged Alfred Molina. And it's like, yeah, they're going to keep that going for an entire movie. So all the villains from the Spider-Man movies will probably just show up at the end for 10 minutes, and that's going to be it. Because they can't keep digitally de-aging all these old characters. That's fine. I'll happily stick to my Sam Raimi trilogy. That'll be the only things I'll have. Carrie was made 3 times: 1976, 2002, and 2013. Yeah. Well, there's a new Pet Cemetery on the way. Biggest tease, and they won't even pull through. My hype for Marvel died after Endgame. I'm more excited for DC because they seem to be letting the directors have more creative control, meaning we'll get more variety in terms of what we get. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, well, that's the thing. This whole Marvel versus DC thing was born out of Marvel already having a bunch of creative and fun variety of films on their roster, and then DC just started with only Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder got to define everything from the get-go. Like, he's like, oh, it's his Batman and it's his Superman. He got to cast all of the rest of the Justice League within an instant. And I think, like, I don't know, you just could feel the planet kind of getting sick of it before it even started. But then once Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam came out, then it finally felt like, all right, we can have different pockets of the DC universe to have fun with. As I said before, Suicide Squad, I still don't even understand that one. Why would they do that straight away? Like, you have all those villains be in their respective superhero movies first. Because a lot of them hadn't even gotten a live-action portrayal yet. Which means they got no origin, so that they're already just done. And now it's just like, oh, you guys have been in prison after a long life of crime, so be in this boring movie where you're all thrown together. Oh, Paul's. Thank you for the $5. Mr. Cordz, new fan here. Very much enjoying your takes on my favorite horror films. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Oh, cheers, mate. A remake or sequel to Pet Sematary? Oh, this new one? I have no idea. Hey, Cord, could you do the Romero trilogy? Could I do them? Maybe not. Because I feel like I like them. Actually, I haven't seen the original Night of the Living Dead, and I haven't seen the remake of Night of the Living Dead. But I have them all on Blu-ray to get to eventually. But Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead are great, but I didn't grow up with them, so I don't have like a passionate take on them to make a whole video series or video for. I think you mentioned them on Twitter or something about it or something. Could I cover them? Yeah, I just don't really have anything to say about them as opposed to they're good. Dawn of the Dead is probably my favorite from what I've seen. Because I have all of them now. Well, enough. I've got the original Night, Dawn, Day, the remake of Night, and then the Dawn of the Dead remake. The only Zack Snyder film I'm willing to buy. Even though it's James Gunn's script. Isn't that so funny how, like, we've been worrying about DC this entire time. And it's all because Snyder started that universe, and then it's like the only film from that universe I passionately loved was when James Gunn entered the scene. And Land of the Dead, just because I only wanted the original 4, including the Night of the Living Dead remake, because Tom Savini directed it. I was like, you know what, Dawn of the Dead is still good, so I'll just own that. And I was like, but I don't want any like that Day of the Dead, Bloodline, any of that shit that like the director DVD remakes or whatever. But I was like, you know what, Land of the Dead, Romero still directed it, so I'll buy that anyway. It's cheap. Hey Cordz, how you doing? Sending love from Phoenix. Love your content. Hope to be a Patreon member after I find a job. As long as you press the like button and comment, you're doing enough. That's mainly because Snyder and Warner Brothers, I think they learnt their lesson. Unpopular opinion, X-Men The Last Stand was really good. That's not an unpopular opinion, that's a hot take. This whole episode's about hot takes. X-Men, I mean, like, it's got that the Stallone Judge Dredd problem. It's like, just stick to one story. Like, no, don't shove in two because that was kind of the beginning of them going like, well, rather than just trying to come up with an original story that takes elements from the comic books, let's just take actual arcs from the comic books. So, like, I think they took Dark Phoenix. I don't know if the whole part about the Cure is from a comic book run. It feels like it, but I could be wrong. But then again, I'm not going to research it, so YOLO. But that was just the beginning of, like, I think Marvel just does that with every film now. I think Iron Man 1 probably took so many elements from the origins of the Iron Man comic books to build their first movie on, but then every film onwards is just like, well, what else? What's another arc we can take? Winter Soldier, Extremis, shit. Oh my god, can you hear my stomach? Someone wants food. Was not doing superhero movies anymore a conscious choice? Yeah, just because I was just over it. This channel didn't really start with superhero reviews. Because the thing is, like, what else can I say? I don't see them as... I'm on the Martin Scorsese train. It's like, it ain't cinema. But, like, I don't know. Like, it's after Endgame, all that shit just stopped for me. Like, it's literally just all the same to me now. This is where I feel like a wereboomer. Like, I'm a millennial, but I just... everything new sucks. I only like the old. I hold every single movie today in comparison to Jaws as a standard. And I'm not talking about a movie with a fucking shark in it. I'm talking about in terms of just the script writing, the ad-libbing, just knowing how to make the story be numero uno, and then the gimmick follows. Because the story has to hold that shit together. All superhero movies now, to me, it just feels like it's the trailer for the next one as a 2.5 hour movie. It's like every comic book movie now is just rushing through its story to set up the next one. Where I kind of like, it's so ironic how they're trying to dig out the Raimi trilogy to build hype, where the Raimi trilogy has been the standard to me this whole time. My favorite is still the original Spider-Man, where the popular opinion to say is Spider-Man 2 is the best. But I still have... That first one is still fucking amazing to me. No pun intended. One of the most brutal end-of-movie fist fights I've ever seen. It's like, and everyone considers the first one to be the kiddie one. I've been binging on your videos on my shifts at work, and I absolutely love it all. Keep up the amazing work. Oh, cheers, Shane Johnson. I stopped making comic book movie. Like, there's still stuff I want to make videos on. Like, eventually want to get to a masterclass cinema on the 1990s Ninja Turtles movie, because, like, that's another movie I'll hold any new movie standards too. That first Ninja Turtles movie, like, it's the perfect Ninja Turtles live action movie we're ever going to get in any lifetime. That movie was made right place, right time. Everything after is just, well, it's Ninja Turtles, but it's just with technology of today. And script writing of today. And product placement of today. And trying to make a 8-part movie franchise of today. It's definitely from the comics. No more liberties taken to make films. Right. And you mentioned something about it being an accomplishment that you got to the subscriber count you did without covering Star Wars and superhero movies. That's true. Look at everything that's come out of YouTube today. Like, this is why, like, my fucking channel's dying right now because I'm not jumping on any train that gets views. And what gets views now is reaction videos. Hey everyone, it's Cordz Effects. Can check out the new Spider-Man trailer. Oh, everyone knows me. I like the Spider-Man. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's react to the new Spider-Man trailer. And then hit play and be like, what do you do? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my god, I know that. Spider-Man is being funny. I love how funny he is. Oh my god, was that Dr. Octopus? Oh my god. You don't want that from me. Because I don't want to be that either. But like, yeah, Star Wars, I made one video on. And superhero movies, it just got burnt out. Just nothing new to say that isn't just negative for the sake of me being a fucking wereboomer and I just hate anything that's new. Oh, Spider-Man looks like the last Spider-Man. I remember that when the Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out and I was just like, so many people around me like, oh man, the new costume looks fucking sick. And I'm sitting there going, that's the fucking Sam Raimi suit with bigger eyes. You're trying to fool me. I heard of a GTA 3 Vice City and San Andreas remake of the games. What are your thoughts? And do you think making a GTA based movie is a good idea? They already made a movie about Grand Theft Auto. It's called Crank and Crank High Voltage, and I highly recommend everyone go watch it. Like, they're not in terms of adapting GTA's story, but it's adapting GTA's gameplay. Where you just run around, beat people up, jump in cars, shoot people, drive around, crash into shit. Those Crank movies feel like it's a Grand Theft Auto game with a cheat code on. The Night of the Living Dead remake was always replayed on cable here in America in the early 90s. Well, that doesn't surprise me because imagine replaying a black and white movie. How long before they go back to Camp Batman? Ugh. After Nolan's trilogy, they'll never. I mean, Joss Whedon turned Batman into a stupid goofball in his cut. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen is Batman lying on his side going, yep, something's definitely broken. Yeah, the MCU felt like high-budget commercials for their own brand. Yeah, exactly. Like, how and why would I make a video on that? Because my housemate at the time was watching WandaVision, and I came in at like episode 3. And because he was late to it, so he was watching a whole bunch. And so I came in on episode 3 and watched until like, I think there was probably just 3 more episodes to go. And every single episode, like, this is exactly what my reaction to every single episode was. The whole episode, and then it would end with some tease for the next episode and go, every episode, ends with, gets to the end and it's like, yeah, so even though she's already the Scarlet Witch, she needs to do this thing to be called that, and then it's official. And it's just the Scarlet Witch versus a Purple Witch. Oh, it's Vision versus a White Vision. And then it ends, and I didn't quite understand what any of it was for or meant. But the whole internet was like, oh my god, WandaVision's so fucking good, and how it builds shit, and oh, what's coming next? I cannot wait for it, because this, and that from the comics. I was like, oh. Ugh. Then I didn't watch anything else that followed. Everyone says Falcon and the Winter Soldier was good, didn't see it. Everyone says Loki was good, didn't see it. What If, not watching it. What do you think about MCU movies up until now, and why don't you make masterclass cinemas on MCU titles? Well, I mean, like, probably would make a masterclass cinema on the first Iron Man at some point. Just because that movie is like a high-budget, independent movie. Like just the pulling that first movie off was just incredible. And then every film since is just substandard now. Are you a fan of the Resident Evil games? What are your thoughts on Welcome to Raccoon City? Yeah, I've never played a Resident Evil game. I saw the first 3 when I was a kid. and I have not seen anything else. Reaction videos are god awful. Well, that's all YouTube is now. That's all it is now. Hey, the best part is when people react to just fucking scenes from movies out of context. Saw one pop up because I was like rewatching this one scene from Once for Warriors a bunch for some reason, and it's just like this reaction channel couple were like, "Hey, we're checking out the ending to Once a Warrior has been recommended, so yeah, let's get into it," without seeing any of the fucking movie's context. They're just watching this big revelation of a scene and not knowing what any of it meant. Not gonna lie, every time I scroll past a movie cover with a nun, I have to mutter, "Oh my god, boys, it's done." Well, I'm glad that's ruined your life in terms of how you perceive a nun. Because it's, where's the lie? That's literally what every reaction is. It is the nun. Rockstar said they're not letting anyone make a movie. Well, yeah, keep it as games. Like, did we need a Need for Speed movie? Like making a movie all about a video game's gameplay. Crank High Voltage is my fave. Oh man, they're so good. I reckon if you did cocaine and you marathoned Crank 1 and 2, the entire thing would feel like it went for 30 minutes. Those movies fucking move. They just move, and they do not stop. It's like they move so fast you can't even stop to like analyze the filmmaking. Because it just doesn't stop. We can't be like, "Oh, that shot kind of looks stupid because it was filmed on tape." It just doesn't matter. Filmmaking doesn't matter because those movies are just so fucking quick and stupid and silly, but great and crazy. Bumblebee commentary possibly coming. Probably not, although I'll be making another video down the track talking about Bumblebee. I remember you mentioning Mortal Kombat Annihilation as a guilty pleasure. Hilariously bad. How funny is it? Yeah, it's so bad. You know what? Points to that movie for putting in the Cyrax and Sector sound effect from the games. That I can't even imitate it. Conjuring 9, Tokyo. None. Also, on the topic of video game movies, have you considered covering a U-Ball movie? Well, I haven't seen any of his films. Nothing's really made me want to. Can you see why? Although I always wanted to check out Rampage. I just never got around to it. Bing fucking Crosby. Alright, everyone. I might wrap this up. Probably do another 10 minutes. I actually thought this was just going to take an hour, but like these live streams always go on longer than I ever think they would. Because reading comments is fun. Any more last minute burning hot takes? As the theme of this episode. I'm gonna let this be public on YouTube afterwards. Usually I don't make these live streams public just because they're not actual videos. But we'll see how this goes. This could be a good first episode of a weekly thing. Even though I've always wanted to do a podcast. I've attempted to do podcasts and they fail and then I lose interest. But the Q&As or some kind of themed video once a week could be fun. Good night. I'm in Brazil right now. It's midnight here. Nighto. Very good content, like your work. Well, thank you. Any plans for another rip-off series? Well, I have to finish the Paranormal Activity at some point. Hot take, Kill Bill isn't that good. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I disagree, bro. But I understand why. I get why people don't like it. Imagine watching Pulp Fiction and then go like, all right, now you got to check out Kill Bill. You're like, no, this is the fucking same. Keanu Reeves' Constantine movie is good. I watched that and kind of, sort of recently, but I don't remember a single thing from it. Has anyone seen End of Days starring Arnold Schwarzenegger? That movie was so bad. Who's your favorite director? I don't know. I don't think I've ever locked in a favorite. It's like whatever director I like hasn't like been that consistent. Yo, Cordry, your content is funny, F. I really enjoy your videos. Thanks. Well, cheers. I never say Arnold Schwartz's name in public. I think I missed if you saw this. Did you watch the Suspiria remake? Oh, no, I haven't. I've seen the original. I thought it was alright. Yeah, everyone's told me to watch the remake. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Should I watch The Nun for the memes? No. So funny. A few months ago, I got this like once in a lifetime amazing deal on Facebook Marketplace for this massive horror Blu-ray collection that this woman was selling, and it had like so many rarities in it, like you wouldn't believe. Halloween 3, 4, and 5, the Australian Blu-ray releases that like you just cannot get anywhere. The Amityville trilogy, the Omen trilogy, just all this extra stuff that like I didn't even know was going to be on my list yet that I got. And it came with The Nun, and I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna stay in my collection, so I traded it in for monies, which I then spent on more movies. It's fucking crazy. Half my Blu-ray collection is all secondhand cheap. I got End of Days and The Sixth Day. I'm mixed up. Then had to wiki Arnie's films in the 90s. Fuck Total Recall and Kindergarten Cop in the same year. Well, that's the thing. That ain't like... We'll put it this way. Total Recall would take longer to make with its effects and stuff and planning. So all Schwarzenegger has to do is just be on set for that duration, and he leaves, and they just spend the rest of that time making continuing to make the movie with like miniatures and stuff. That's all afterwards photography, and also sometimes it can be pre-production photography, but even that like adds up the time. Kindergarten Cop's just a normal small movie. There's no visual effects in it. What you film is what you get, and then all you have to do is just edit it and do a sound mix and score. Don't support The Nun in any way. Are you going to watch the new Chucky show coming this month? Yes, I am. Very excited for the Chucky TV series. Just marathoned all the Child's Play movies recently. And like, I think it's probably the best horror movie franchise in terms of its like consistency. Well, maybe consistency is not the worst. The continuity. Don Mancini's respect to continuity. And I hadn't seen Seed of Chucky since I was a child. And I thought, I was like, this is probably the one I'm not going to like in retrospect. I fucking had a great time with it. It's very weird. And if people hate it, I completely understand. But I actually really enjoyed it. Rewatching it as an adult. Eraser was the Arnie clone movie. like Last Action Hero at the end. Have you seen some of the Italian horror involving nuns' religion, like Demonica and the church? No, I haven't. I know someone who unironically think Twins is a great movie. Is Twins not a great movie? That's another one I haven't watched since I was a kid, but I now have it on Blu-ray that I ordered from the UK because it's not fucking available here. Man, it's got Danny DeVito. How can you go wrong? Last Action Hero is cool. It's self-mocking. Last Action Hero is just a great movie overall. It's not even it's self-mocking, but it's still like a great action movie. It still is a great Schwarzenegger movie. And it's just ironic that he continued to make make that filth afterwards. Eraser was the one with Vanessa Williams, and he has to protect her. Seed of Chucky's hilarious. It was 6 days. The Arnold clones. Yeah, Malignant's like a wait and see. Just kind of. I'm just kind of interested in seeing an original James Wan movie. We'll see. Like it just looks like a 90s horror movie or an early 2000s horror film. Hot take: Scream 2 is just average. Scream 4 is the best Scream movie. Yeah, Scream 2 is fucking weird. The plot twist is so weird. Because I think that was a Terminator Salvation thing where the script got leaked, so like the last minute, like, no, fuck, we got to change the actual ending to something else, and then the ending comes, and you're like, what? But Scream 4 though, I don't know if it's the best Scream movie, but I think it might be the second best. Because even the third one's fucking strange. Although the third one is so adorable with Gale and the actress playing Gale, and how they like team up to be the same person. I thought that was fun. True Lies was the last great Arnold movie. The last great? What year was that and what followed? I can't think. But, great movie as well. Did you remember Strange Days with Ralph Fiennes and Angel Bassett set for the last day of the 90s? No. Yeah, Scream 4 might have been the last movie. I actually dislike Scream 3 as well. Yeah, Scream 2 and 3 kind of... It's just ironic because Scream 1 was like... It's such a 2000s movie, but it's still kind of like a little mini revolutionary film in terms of being like so self-aware and pokes fun at the horror genre while still being a good horror movie itself. But Scream 2 and 3 are just like instantly the gimmick, just done again. But then Scream 4 kind of... I don't know. It kind of got to do a bit of what the first movie was doing again because it was such a belated sequel. Because Scream 2 and 3 are still within the 2000s, where Scream 4 kind of... I think it was a better time to then do another self-referential thing. We'll see about this new one though, just called Scream, which is fucking annoying. Scream, Halloween, The Thing. They're different movies, but they're not. You love my channel so much. Well, thanks, Destiny. The Last Stand was good if I'm thinking of the right movie. Oh, God. Arnold's first movie after being governor has to end with this immigrant message. To give immigrants a bad name. Because I'm old. I'm all wise now. If this was the 80s, it would just blown him up. What do you think of Dog Soldiers? One of the more underrated horror movies, I think. That's crazy. I was literally mentioned at the start of this live stream. I need to rewatch it. And I enjoyed it as a kid, but I don't really remember that well. What I do remember was I thought the end credits were haunting. So remember in the movie they kept like taking photos of the werewolves because the flash like disoriented them. Disoriented. Oh God. Disorientated. I'm sticking to that pronunciation even though that's not how it's spelled. And the whole end credits is just the photos they took of the werewolves. I thought that was such a great end credit idea. How many movies do you have in your Blu-ray collection? Oh, fuck if I know. I have 2 big shelves now, and they are both beyond half full. If you follow me on Twitter, I might post some photos soon. I remember in Terminator Genesis where they showed Robot John Connor in the trailer and the movie had to pretend it didn't happen even though everyone knew it was there. Man, what was the other one? Yeah, fucking Mortal Kombat. The new one. Everything's in the trailer. Everything's in the trailer. And you know what I mean by everything? Scorpion's in the trailer. Because if you've seen the movie, Scorpion's not in the fucking movie, but he's all over the all over the marketing. He's in all over the trailer and trailers, and then he's not in the movie. Bookends it with a little bit. Ugh. Yeah, dude, I just can't believe how fucking there's no restraint with trailers anymore. It's like we've got to put everything in the trailer just in case they don't like it. We have to show enough things in it so they like it. Have we seen Black Coat's Daughter? Such a good horror film. No, I have not. Had a 20-something in theatre class argued... a 20-something-year-old person that Scream was a comedy movie and not a horror movie. I was 34 and dumbfounded. No, it has humor in it, but it's still a good horror movie. I actually marathoned Scream 1 to 4 recently, and actually I think I have a newfound appreciation for the actual ghost face persona. Because I like how as every movie establishes, it is a different person every time. But what I do like is how it's always just someone wearing the costume. Someone who's clumsy, someone who doesn't think quick on their toes at all times. Which I think makes me enjoy it more. Because they're yet to make a Scream movie where Ghostface is dark and mysterious and pops out and vanishes without reason. Oh, mysterious. It's always just a guy that runs out and tries to stab you, as far as you know. Everything in the trailer so that the suit can take notes on the reaction channels. Oh yeah, so if the reaction channels don't like the trailer, then they can quickly scramble and change it. I was in the army when the Blair Witch Project came out. My sergeant said I'd set the woods on fire. They'd come find me then. Huh. Oh, so when you were in the army, one of you saw it and telling stories, and someone's just like, fucking witch in the woods, get fucked. I'll just set it on fire. Fuck you. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 baited people into thinking he'd fight Rhino in it, and the exact same clip from the end of the trailer was in the actual movie. Yep. Yeah, another one. They just showed everything. I don't know why they... Say what you will about The Dark Knight Rises, but its trailers were so fucking good. Even the first one was just so subtle and quiet and mysterious. Just built its hype. Where everything now is just everything at once. Trailers should just be one scene from the film without cuts or edits. Yeah, imagine that. And then they used the end credit scene as ad space for X-Men Days of Future Past. What was the end credit scene? I can't even remember. Ghostface is a great human slasher villain. Yeah, that's true. Well, even Freddy fucking can be clumsy and fall over in the first movie. Ghostface works because it can be any person and not some super strength person with supernatural influences. Mid-credits. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank of what those even were. Oh, can you see the kookaburras outside? Alright, y'all, oh, fucking 2 hours, my god. Might wrap this up. So this has been fun. I might post another community thing on Facebook this week, and we might do this again next Monday. Probably an earlier start than Monday. Maybe a new topic, see what everyone wants to discuss. If everyone had fun with this video. I'm always trying to try new things for fan engagement. It usually just blows up and then fucking the channel dies and everyone gives me shit. Be like, you still fucking trying to do things. Just do what worked before. Even though what worked before was me trying a new thing. But whatever. Have you seen that movie where the serial killer is being followed around by a reporter and he's giving secrets like how to make it seem like he's everywhere? No. Have a great one, buddy. You too. How long until Crocodile Dundee reboot? What's the nostalgia cycle on that? Oh, Paul Hogan's just going to keep the rights to himself. Hopefully he takes the rights to his fucking grave. He is Crocodile Dundee. You can't do that again. I don't give a fuck who you get to do it now. Chris Hemsworth, Hugh Jackman, Eric Bana. Fuck off. Crocodile Dundee is only one person. Because Crocodile Dundee ain't a goddamn superhero from a comic book. I like this live stream thing. They're fun, aren't they? They always take longer than I expect. Have fun, people. Night. Let's talk about religion, politics, and football now. Oh, no. 3 things I have no interest in. I still struggle to think of a worse example of a trailer showing too much of a movie than The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Too bloody right. Paul Logan forever. Alright, everyone. I'm ending this. I'm going. This has been fun. Can't wait to talk to y'all again. Take care. And bye-bye. Thank you for all the super chats. Very, very grateful for that. See y'all.